A lot of people constantly tell me that they love my production style, and I really do appreciate that. But also, a lot of people tell me that they want to learn how to produce. So, this is that video. So, tip number one, you need to have a really good um, laptop or confused computer. This is because the best DAWs are typically on the laptop, on the computer. My favorite DAW to use at the moment is Ableton Live, but the one I've been using consistently for the past 6 years is Logic Pro. Logic Pro is a little easier to use and learn because if you have an iPhone or an iPad or a MacBook, you can go from GarageBand to Logic easily. It's a very easy learning curve because it's the same thing, it's just more pro features. Secondly, you want to make sure you have really good sounds. So, my biggest tip for people who want to get into production is go to Reddit and you want to go to r/drum kits. They have the best drums for free. I can't guarantee it though, because most of the time it's just so much of hip hop kits. So to each their own. My second best tip is buy a Splice subscription. They have really good drums on there as well as drum loops. So next what you want to do is also um get the Vital plugin and make sure you sign up for a preset share account. Alternatively, you can pay for Omnisphere, which has a lot of sounds included, but it has a lot of storage that you need. Or you can get Serum. Serum also has a new plugin called Serum 2. I have yet to use it because I don't have space on my laptop. But many producers use it and it's the most loved VST in the music world. So Preset Share also has a lot of Serum 2 patches that you can use. Yeah. Okay, so next what you want to do is you want to go into your DAW and the first thing you want to do is play around with it before you even start to try to produce anything serious, okay? So play around with it, get familiar, make a shitty beat, and that's how you will start. Next, what you want to do is when you're ready to make your first official beat, what you want to do is make sure you're comfortable and however you want to start your beat, that is how you will start the beat. Stop. Okay, so next, um, so if you're starting with the chords or a synth, what the fuck was that? Oh, all right, sorry, that was weird. Someone, okay, so what you're gonna do is, I'm gonna be real, you don't need to learn music theory. I have been producing since I was, well, officially, like, formally producing on music programs since I was 10 on my iPhone and my iPad. And I'm gonna tell you right now, the, um, there is a false narrative in this industry that you need to learn music theory in order to be able to produce good music with beautiful chord progressions and whatnot. This is false. I don't know a thing about music theory, and I produce beautiful compositions. Okay. Also able to recreate a song by ear. So just listen, all you have to do is be consistent. Don't worry about that. Okay. Why don't you start? All right. So, um, listen, when you are working with a computer DAW, the first thing you should know is that the piano roll is your best friend. So if you have a DAW like Logic, I don't know about the other DAWs, okay? Don't ask me about like FL Studio or like Studio One or Cubase. Don't. But typically in a DAW, when you have the piano roll open, it lets you hear the note as you place it down onto the region or the clip, whatever it's called in your preferred DAW. So this is a great way for you to be able to know what you're doing. Also, like play it back as many times as you need to in the timeline. Don't worry about it getting annoying. Um so typically people will tell you to start with like major chords, like a boring like dun 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 dun. Look, I get it, but also like that is not a good way to start because then you're encouraging people to just keep making the same kind of beats. Also for hip hop producers, don't overuse the minor chords. I know that's like popular in hip hop productions, but um yeah. Yo, what the fuck? Now, when it comes to drums, this is going to be really hard. So, in your first few productions or whatever, don't beat yourself up because you have the worst hi-hat combination pattern or like this. Don't worry about any of that. Um, the best advice that I have is definitely use the drum kits that you have available within the DAW if it comes with any, because if you try to lay down the drum samples on the timeline, like myself, I do that. What you're gonna find is that having to copy and paste it like 10,000 times, it's going to get really annoying. So just um when the drum kits most likely will have a piano roll to work with as well, so you can use that and get familiar with that. Oh my. So, okay, so it's the same thing for like the bass and whatever. Now, if you are like getting really good at it, congratulations. And this is the best advice that I have if you feel that your productions are too bland, too boring, too like, dry. Percussion is amazing, okay? And also, if you do have like percussion loops or samples, if you want it to sound like Hmm. That's a good way for me to put it. So, like, let's say it sounds too robotic, too clean. The best advice and I do this in every single production that I have, take one element, like a synth, like a pluck or a key, percussion, maybe even the hi-hats or the snare. Take that and you're gonna delay it by like a few milliseconds. It can either come a little earlier or a little late, and you can adjust it to however you want. It is the most beautiful way to level up any production. You just do that. What? Now, production is not easy, but it's also not rocket science. I see a lot of people comparing it to like the hardest things in the world, and it's really not that serious. I know it sounds easy for me to say because I've been doing this for a long time, but I can assure you it's really not that serious. It might seem intimidating at first, but I can assure you it's not. What you have to do is find the comfortable software for you. You can't want to use Logic and you don't know a thing about GarageBand. Like if you have an iPhone, which you most likely do, use GarageBand. You cannot go into Logic immediately because it is so much different from GarageBand. And it's just like my first time using Logic Pro after having been on GarageBand for years before that, I was so confused, but and also I had never used the GarageBand on the Mac before, so this was like crazy. So the first thing I did was like, okay, I have to connect the dots. This is how you make a new track. This is how you, and the sounds are mostly the same from GarageBand on the Mac. um, Also, like 2 months ago, I used no, sorry, last month, I used Ableton for the first time, and I had been using Logic for 6 years. I still use it. I was like, oh my gosh, like this is crazy. It looks like a fucking spreadsheet. But then I was like, oh my gosh, like this is the same thing. Um, so yeah, honestly, as much as I don't like it, I highly recommend FL Studio for the first time. I don't know how to use it. I cannot get to the piano roll for my life. So I will not be using that. Oh, guys, subscribe for more content. If you want me to do a video on mixing and mastering, I will do that right now, actually.